Hello everyone, my name is Jocelyn. You may call me Joy if you wish, and this is a video that I wasn't planning on making yet because the story is not over. However, I thought it was about time to tell you and share with the world what's been going on with me, because I've been somewhat silent online since my last proper video that I made about AI art, and I am very proud of that, but it was about 2 months ago. And other than my side project of opening my Pokemon holiday calendar, I've been doing nothing online, which is unusual for me. So, my health has been shit. It's not, terminal or serious or anything like that. So don't worry. But it's still not been great. So what happened was, at the start of this year, I want to first say that there are some reasons other than just that my health that I haven't been making videos. I started training in a salon. I have this work life, and I have home life, and I have social life, and I have also started dating as well on Grindr. I re-downloaded that, and that's opened up a bunch of possibilities, and I've between all of those things, and I gotta sleep sometime. Something had to give, and that thing was making videos. This is not a job for me, it is a hobby. So I do it as and when I feel like, I have to be completely and utterly committed to a thing in order to want to do it. That explains a little bit about why I haven't been doing videos, like I said, other than my little side project, which isn't really what this channel is mostly all about. So let's start at the beginning. January happens. January was a terrible month for me in terms of mental health as well as physical health. I basically had the willpower to do nothing. And honestly, it was like getting up out of bed was like climbing Mount Everest. The seasonal depression really, really hit me hard this year. So getting the motivation to do anything was just not there. And on top of that, I was recovering from a cold that was a particularly nasty thing that had been going around at that point. And my chest, my left side of my chest, was experiencing some lingering side effects of the cold. And I thought, this is kind of normal. So then I'm waiting for it to go away. I'm waiting for it to just I googled the symptoms. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I googled the symptoms and it said, oh, it's just muscle pain, it'll go away. Didn't go away. Mid-March rolls around and I start thinking, maybe I should contact the GP about this, because it still doesn't feel right. Like there's a tight kind of ache in just the left side of my chest. That's not good. The same weekend that I resolved to do something about this is when I get woken up with screaming tooth pain. And then it disappears. And I think, okay, that was weird. 2 days later, it happens again. And this time I think, okay, something's going on. Something's not right here. I call 111, which is the non-emergency, emergency medical helpline here in the UK. And I got through to somebody and they said, we've got no appointments left. Try again tomorrow. Super helpful. The next day, my friend goes and gets me some pain relief. And then the next day, he calls me and said, oh, I woke up with massive tooth pain. And that day I felt fine. And I'm here thinking, oh my God, have I hexed him with my toothache? But he ended up getting an appointment that same day and he got his tooth pulled out. Anyway, I needed the pain relief again. A couple of days later, I call them again, can't get through. Couple of days, like, I keep trying to get through. Eventually, Sunday, I'm woken up at about 6 a.m. So not too early to call, but also not too late. And I call them and I say, look, my tooth, it's in agony. And if you've never experienced tooth pain, it is the most miserable experience. I wish it upon only the worst of the worst people. And anyway, I got through to them and they said, okay, we'll see what we can do. They called me back at 8 in the morning. They said, right, we've got one appointment left. It's 10:15. It's in Bridgewater, which is a town, for those of you that don't know, my situation, in case you're just sort of running across this video now. It's the town that's about 10-11 miles away from here, okay? So I said, yes, I'll take it. I figured it's a Sunday morning, I can probably get a bus. Quick Google search, yes, I can get a bus at 9 o'clock. It will leave here at 9 and it will get to my destination at about 9:20. Fabulous. Great. Fabulosa. So I get to the bus stop. It's not a normal bus. It's actually a cross-country thing that just does a couple of stops in the west part of England and then just goes straight to London. So I was lucky enough that it was going here and then Bridgewater and then fucking off over to the east side of England. So I get on the bus, they say, you know, blah, 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 it's £3. Okay, fine. Sitting in the bus, things are going great. We're approaching Bridgewater and traffic standstills. And there's a massive, massive queue in front of us. And time's ticking on and I'm thinking, okay, this could be a problem. So what I didn't know at the time was that there had been an accident. Someone had been involved in a collision on the M5 just outside Bridgewater. So all the traffic from the motorway was getting redirected into the town. And that's what was causing the massive, massive queues. It's 9:20. We're not in Bridgewater yet. It's 9:30. We're not in Bridgewater yet. It's 10:45. We're not in Bridgewater yet. The crawl of the traffic is starting to worry me. Because this was an emergency appointment. There's no way that I can miss this. And I'm thinking, hey bus driver, oh, are we gonna make it there? there before 10? And they said, yeah, we'll be there in another 10 minutes. Right. 10:02, we're still in traffic. 5:02, we're still in traffic. 10 o'clock. We just about hit the outskirts of Bridgewater and get to like the far end of Collie Lane. And I recognise it because I used to live in Bridgewater for nearly 30 years. We've got to a place that I recognise. It's like, oh, okay. So rather than going to the bus station and then having to double back and then go to my destination, I just said to them, look, traffic's at a standstill. I know it's a little bit irregular, but can I just get off here? I have an emergency appointment. It's over that bridge. I just got to get there now. And they, mercifully, they let me alight from the bus because, like I said, traffic was going nowhere. So I get there, I get to my appointment just. And here's where the real kicker sort of starts. So the dentist, the emergency dentist, has a look at my problem, says, right, well, here's what's happened. So your wisdom tooth has grown and impacted into the tooth next to it. My wisdom tooth grew horizontally into the tooth next to it. I didn't know they could do that. Did you? Because now you do. So what happened was where it grew into the other tooth now has a massive crater in it where it's been rubbing. I will post an image of my x-ray now. So that's what was causing all the pain. And the dentist said to me, I can't deal with this. It needs a specialist, oral surgeon. For me to do this, it would be like a GP trying to do heart surgery. And then she gave me this face. I'm sorry, when a dentist gives you that face and tells you there's nothing else they can do, my mind was a little bit blown. So she prescribed me some amoxicillin to deal with any infection that might be causing the pain, which, yes, there was, and it helped. And also that's the point when I was in Bridgewater and I ended up going to the shop with the Pokemon calendar. There was like a big closing down sale, and it just so happened to be that that was on sale, which is why I bought that. And instead of just opening getting all the cards and stuff, I thought, oh no, I'll actually wait until April, because that's the next month, and just open it like day by day. And then I got the genius idea of putting it online, because that's what I do. So anyway, that was the situation with my tooth. The dentist referred me to Musgrove Park Hospital maxillofacial surgery department about the tooth problem, because, like she said, it needs a specialist, a proper oral surgeon. It took a little while, but I got the confirmation letter from them, just saying, we have received your referral. Unfortunately, we have no appointments at this time. You have been placed on a wait list that is at least 6 months long. Yeah. That's the shit that we gotta deal with. with NHS. And I called around. There are no NHS dentists in Taunton in this town. Everything is private. And what with being a trainee with just benefits as an income, I can't afford a dentist. By the way, a dentist costs a hell of a lot more than a starting calendar on sale. So don't even go there with the comment. Just don't. Okay? Everyone knows that waiting lists, NHS, are not exactly great, but this, not only is tooth pain excruciating, it also makes life very, very difficult. Because it just takes over everything. So I contacted them and they said to me, the receptionist said to me, oh yes, I can confirm that we do have you on our system. You have been referred as a routine procedure. Unfortunately, the waiting lists will be about 9 months, which technically is at least 6 months, but it doesn't sound great. And it's at this point I said, and I did not mean to go full Karen on this poor receptionist, but the first words out of my mouth were, who told you it was routine? I nearly asked to speak to a supervisor. Is this what is this what this stage of life does to people? Oh God, right. No, so the receptionist then said, look, I can't do anything about it. You need to contact the person who provided your initial referral. So I got back in touch with them and they said, well, we don't deal with that. That was an on-call dentist. But if you send us an email, we can send it on to them. So, long story short, I made a very polite yet concisely worded email and sent it, and hopefully that's going to get to the relevant people. Now, this is sort of a waiting game. This story is not yet over, which is why I did not want to post about it yet. However, like I said, this is not the only thing that's going on. I still am dealing with my chest issue at the same time. So I make an appointment with the GP and unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong. And they did a little exam. We had a chest x-ray. That came back clear. So there's nothing, immediately terribly wrong. There's nothing wrong with the lung itself. Could be muscular, could be nerve kind of pain or damage or something going on. All I know is they've told me to take painkillers. That's it. That's not helping the situation. That's not dealing with the root cause of the problem. That's just placating the symptoms. And at every turn, in both the tooth situation and the chest situation, I feel like I'm being just completely fobbed off. Just completely dismissed. And I don't usually say this because most of the people who work in the NHS on the front line are wonderful, amazing human beings. Nurses especially. The kindest, most patient people. But this experience has taught me that it's just getting anything done when it comes to healthcare that isn't like immediate, emergent, you know, is shit. It's a crawl. It is a fight. It is a struggle. The one good thing that came out of this is that when I needed an X-ray, they did it immediately. For both the tooth and the chest. The tooth X-ray they did there and then. The chest X-ray I had to go the next day because their like hours had just closed. But they operate every day, every weekday. They do X-rays. So for that reason, I'm going to say like that part was incredibly good. And being able to request an X-ray or need an X-ray and getting it immediately and paying zero for it, as should be the case in all westernized and, let's face it, all countries across the globe, but especially modernized Western civilization where we have access to X-ray machines and hospitals and healthcare and things like that, that, like, yes, it should be completely and utterly available and free. So that's what's been going on there. And of course, all of this like health stuff has impacted the rest of my life. It's impacted my ability to work. It's impacted my ability to get up out of bed sometimes because the like pain in my back, like the back side of my chest, like it makes it hard to get out of bed sometimes. It sort of fluctuates from day to day. I can't eat properly because of this fucking thing. And if they tell me I have to wait 9 months, I am just going to find the most sadistic fucker out there with the nastiest, dirtiest, greasiest, oily pliers. And I would rather that than deal with this for another 9 months. I don't want to do that. It's not it's not actually a plan, but it's a hypothetical that's just this makes me want to punch my own face in. It's that bad. And again, I can talk to you quite normally now because like the pain is dulled. I have lots of medication. That's, again, one of the good things is that I can get medication for pain relatively easily. But it's just that's not dealing with the root cause of the problems. And again, having to fight the system to have them recognise that this doesn't feel routine. And I appreciate that there are lots of people out there with dental needs that are also, you know, they require oral surgeons, they require the hospital. I don't know what classifies as routine and urgent. I'm not a medical professional. But when it comes to impacting the way someone lives and the way someone eats, I'd say that's a little bit more serious than routine. I can't even close my mouth properly. Like the lips can close, but the mandible can't meet the maxilla without this clicking against and it causing, like, again, it's sensitive at the moment. 3 days ago, it was so painful. And again, this sort of comes and goes. It's been a bit of a shit time, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying this or doing this because I want to spend half an hour on a pity party. It's not the point of this video. The point is to A, keep my lovely loyal viewers aware and up to date on what's been going on with me, but also to say that this is what life is like with the NHS in modern day UK, and it's far from ideal. Could still be worse. But like I said, this story isn't over. The chest issue's not resolved yet. I don't know what the cause is. And the tooth issue, well, the one with the gut crater in it has to be taken out. The one that's caused the issue, the one that was growing sideways, I believe that has to come out as well. I'm not entirely sure though. A little part of me might be actually sad to see that go, because it's been just a little quirky little weird thing, like, oh, I've got a wonky tooth, that for 20 years has caused me zero problems whatsoever. You know, just now it's decided, oh, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fuck up my neighbour. Just and all of this, I'm recording this, by the way, on the same day that I learned that the Supreme Court in the UK has decided that the definition of woman in documents and laws like the Equality Act refers to biological sex assigned at birth. I am super pissed off about living in this country at the moment. Research will be done, video will be made, probably tomorrow. Now that I am incensed to make things again. I do have good news. The dating thing has been going quite well. My social life is going really well. You know, like, I want to talk about fun, good things, but I felt like this was just a tad more important. But until next time, take care of yourselves and fight the system. Non-binary is valid, goddammit. Bye!